Yo, what up guys, Beside here to share some good news regarding some champion rebalances that will be happening for 2 champions in the next coming update in Raid Shadow Legends. So the first one is one that we already know. He has been around for a while and his name is Hakkorhn Smashlord. He's a champion I obtained recently. I've never gotten a chance to use him or build him, but I hear good things about this champion. He's best known, at least when I see him in the enemy team, is when he plays a bunch of debuffs on the enemy. He just cleanses everything. That's what I used to see him as a champion, that what it does. That's right here. But what is this change about that is coming to this champion? Is going to be going to his rallying below. Rallying below, that is going to be, yeah, this A2 skill, right? It's going to be reducing the cooldown from 4 to 3. So its cooldown will be reduced from 4 to 3. That's a good thing. So whether you have ascended it or not, it will have a 3-turn cooldown. So this cleanse, because normally in raid, it's epic champions that normally have a 4-turn cooldown on a full team cleanse. So this cleanse will now be more viable to be used in a lot of content, because a 4-turn cooldown cleanse is not a good one. It also places a block debuff buff, which also automatically makes it more viable. Is the block debuff buff for 2 turns? Yes, it is. It makes it viable for early game clan boss where block debuff buff is appreciated. Heals or allies, not that one is not being changed. So that's the main thing that is being changed right here. This skill will go from a 4-turn cooldown to a 3-turn cooldown. No books required to make that cooldown happen, which is always a good thing. So yeah, rallying below will now have it happening like that. So I don't know if this all of a sudden makes him become very useful, but of course for City of Trainers where you need those cleanses, you need a lot of content, a lot of different type of champions, he will begin to feature in that type of content. But I still see him up to today being used in some people's early to mid game or even end game arena gold 5. That's why I see him being used. Of course, always useful in Doom Tower for full team cleanses. What else is being changed? Blood Offering, which is going to be the A3 skill, is being changed. He sacrifices his HP equal to 25% of his champion's max HP. That will still remain. Let's see. Now he places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. The value of the shield is equal to 20% of the damage dealt. Then attacks all enemies. Damage inflicted is equal to 50% of this champion's max HP. So now he's no longer going to be sacrificing his HP basically. That's what it feels like. Says he just places a shield. His previous skill on this one does not place any shield, doesn't say anything about his shield. So his damage is based on HP. He will now place a shield on all allies. Let me read what Raid says about the change that is coming to him. They said, once popular and beloved OG champion in desperate need of a few tweaks to his kit, the following changes should make him more relevant and competitive in the current state of the game. We have reduced his A2 cooldown from 4 to 3 on both basic and ascended version of his skill. His A3 no longer requires HP sacrifice. So yes, that's what I was trying to confirm. So this part of the skill that says sacrifices his HP will no longer be right here. He will not sacrifice his HP anymore when he uses his skill. From now on, Hakkorhn will simply attack all enemies with an ability to crit. After the attack, he will place a shield on all allies, which better suits him as an HP tank compared to the old version of his skills. So let me know, do you think this is enough to make Hakkorhn Smashlord all of a sudden more viable in any other content that you did not want to use him in before? I know that the full team cleanse of course will always be viable, but I don't know about the A3. I don't know where that will all of a sudden become useful. Shield, I don't know if that's, the shield is on everybody for 2 turns. The value of the shield equal to 20% of the damage dealt. Does it do damage? Kind of hits hard, but people usually don't build him for damage, they're just building fast. Alright, with accuracy or no accuracy needed on this champion. His A1 doesn't need accuracy, A1 stop. A1 is not being changed to. The next champion that is being rebalanced or buffed is one I do not have, or I do not even look forward to getting. A Void legendary champion from the Sylvan Watchers faction that is not quite popular because she's kind of new, and her name is Claidna. And what is being changed about this champion? Her A1 is being changed. I'll tell you what Raid says about her, but I'll tell you from her skills, you can already tell her A1 has sleep, 50% chance of placing sleep, it will be improved to now be a 80% chance of placing sleep. When you spend books on this skill, it will now be 100% chance of placing sleep. Of course, she's void affinity, so against any of the stages of that, what do you call it now? What do you call that? That's boss that you can put to sleep. Sand Devil Necropolis. You can always land that A1 sleep on him now consistently. So she can be one of those like a CP. Of course, you always has that 3% chance that you might get resisted even if she's void affinity. You do need enough accuracy to make that happen though, to land this A1 sleep. So 100% sleep is now what this champion will bring to raid instead of a 50% chance of placing sleep, which is not very, very consistent. So I guess that's one content that this sleep can be used by. I know there are other content that you can find this skill viable. Maybe PvP. That's the change that is coming to her A1 from a 50% chance to now being a 80% chance of placing sleep. Then her A2 Lost in the Woods is also being changed. It currently has just a flat decrease speed and a leech. That's all. They are adding a new line here that will also restore 100% of each ally's destroyed max HP. Then heals them by 20% of this champion's max HP. She already has the healing going for her, but she did not have that restored destroyed max HP. So again, I keep forgetting this Sand Devil Necropolis. That's where this restore 100% of each ally's destroyed max HP comes in handy, because she will restore our destroyed max HP, then heals us by 20% of her own max HP. That's gonna be an awesome one. So she's adding that restored destroyed max HP for that content. I think that's what they're trying to make this champion viable for, because the sleep works in that content, Sand Devil Necropolis, and then the restored destroyed max HP also works in that content. This is also going to be useful in City of Centranos when you come across the Sand Devil in that City of Centranos, right? All right. The next thing that is being changed about her skill is going to be Other World Fusion. It will now remove all debuff from all allies, then places this block debuff ball. So she's also going to be a full team cleanser. 3-turn cooldown, full team cleanse. That's amazing. Back then, our previous skill just places block debuff buff and does revive on death. So she will now do a full team cleanse on us, which is going to be awesome. So we can remove any debuff that the enemies has placed on us before placing the block debuff buff. Amazing. All these skills looks like it's not just PvP focused. It might also be used in other content. But I'm just thinking of City of Centranos for now, or I'm thinking of Sand Devil Necropolis. At least all these skills are useful in that content. Let me know what you think about her changes. I think her changes for her skills is more pronounced and more, noticeable than the one for Hakkorhn Smashlord. So only 2 champions have been changed, but that's not all. She does have a passive that is also being buffed, and the buff will now apply on a random ally. What does it say? 30% chance of completely blocking the incoming damage for the first hit of an attack. Occurs once per turn. First hit on an attack on a random ally. So that's gonna be what is being added to it. So just like Sepulchre Sentinel has that to block on a random ally. So that's gonna be what is coming up to this skill, I guess. It's still a 30% chance. You just add that randomness to it. So before, this skill used to block on only her, has a 30% chance of blocking incoming damage for the first hit on an attack. So this used to apply to only her, Fae Monarch, passive only she blocks her own incoming damage. 30% chance though. Now it's going to be applying to random allies. That's the change that is coming into it. I guess the chances did not increase, but now one of your allies will not have damage taken when the enemy hits them the first hit of an attack. I don't know if they are talking about a AoE attack or a single target attack. I guess we'll see it in the game, but I can already think of Sepulchre Sentinel that has that type of random ally blocking. One, not just 2 or 3, one of them at least gets that. So that's what is coming to raid in the next update, which is probably going to be the next time where we talk about the fusion that is coming up in the month of May. Maybe in a week or two, I think that's when that fusion is dropping. And as the fusion drops into the game, that's when we'll normally see all these updates at the same time coming to the game. When you update the game, you see all these changes being done to this champion skill. So 2 champions has been rebalanced for the month of, I guess we can still say this is the month of April that they did rebalancing for the month of April. Let's see what else they come up for the month of May. All right, that's all the news I have to share with you. But before I go, let me talk about some info in the game that I'm happening right now. I know I've seen a lot of videos talking about this ongoing adventure deck, and free-to-play players are being encouraged to go in there and grab themselves this Slayer set that is so hard to get or impossible to get if you're a free-to-play player, or Ratalo set like it used to be called. So I've been on the fence all through this time around. I didn't even do a dedicated video about it because I felt like just a few days or a few 2 weeks to a fusion, this is not the best time to begin to spend your silver in content like this, or your gems or saved up energy pots in content like Dungeon Divers. So I was like, should I do it? Should I not? But I decided to try my best, not to complete everything, but we still have 2 days on the clock just to see what I can do. So all I had to do is just go into this energy and spend a little bit of energy that the energy pot saved up, and claim, fight the spider, got myself 6 pieces of 6-star relentless sets for winning the spider tournament. Just 1 hour before it ended, somebody was already at the leader slot with 18,000 points. I just shot up the points and went to 22,000. That was kind of exciting to achieve within the last minute before this event ended. So that was something I decided to do, not for these rewards on this side, but because of the Dungeon Divers points. At the same time, getting silver that I'll go do some artifact enhancement, build some champions with that new silver. So how much silver am I sitting on right now? 195 million, right? So that's gonna be a lot of silver. So that's because of this amount of silver, that's why I'm thinking about going for this adventure deck. If you have that amount of silver and you see a set that is gonna be impossible to obtain, another incentive that made people consider this is because we're not getting the bottom row pieces. We're not getting glove, we're not getting chest, we're not getting boots from these artifacts. Instead, we're getting a lot of accessories and the upper row, weapon, helmet, and shield. So that's gonna mean that you don't have that chance that you get something that you totally trash and sell and be mad at. I guess no 5-star also. This is why I'm looking at it. I'm like, people are hyping this set out and it's worth all the hype. If you do not know what this set does, check out. It's basically gonna make your damage dealer repeat and AoE damage. That's it. When it's 9 pieces, of course. That's why people are trying to get their hands on it so they can put it on the damage dealer. When he hits, he can repeat that 30% chance though. It's a low chance, but it's still a chance. But I don't know if we prefer our damage dealers to ignore damage, or now we want them to repeat the damage. It's so confusing. It's so hard to choose, but I just want to see if I can obtain enough to put on somebody else that probably don't have enough good artifacts to put on the ignore, or some champions already ignore enough damage on themselves with their own passives, with their own damage abilities. They already ignore damage. So those type of champions can be put in this Slayer set, so they can just deal with going again. So I originally don't want to go for this, but 2 days is a long time. So before you go crazy on it, Dragon is coming up. I saw Dragon tournament just launched, or gonna launching tomorrow. It's already counting down. So once Dragon start, I'm going crazy for Dragon. I want to see how far I can go with Dungeon Divers before I go into begin to spend my silver. So far, I'm just farming silver. I'm just farming Dragon. That's the way I look at it. Until when all that is done, I can go over there and start using my silver to do some artifact cleanses, especially from the new farmed accessories that I just did. That's all that is happening in Raid. I just wanted to add this one to this video and tell you what I'm up to in my main account. Back to the office, talking about Raid and everything that is going on, catching up on all the events and tournaments. And this is the first one I'm catching up with: the Spider and the Dragon that is coming up, and the crazy adventure deck of Fate that I did not want to go into. Stone Rush, I did not even touch it. I don't think there's any good incentives right here for me to go for this. I'll probably don't even have enough soul stones to even summon up to these primal shards. So we'll save that for the next crazy event that requires us to pull soul stones. That's all that is happening in raid. If there's any other news that comes up in later in the evening, I'll hop on here and share with you. For now, 2 champions rebalances, Hakkorhn Smashlord and Claidna. Let me know which these ones you think is the best out of the 2 rebalances, and which one is going to be worth building and using in content now that they are all of a sudden looking better than they used to. Is this rebalances enough, or they could do more for Hakkorhn Smashlord? Later, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily raid content.